Hey, what is up, guys? I just wanted to do kind of a quick deck profile here, real quick. This deck, with the normal pendulums, I finally kind of got into playing it. It's very similar to a few other decks that have been floating around, just because there really aren't that many. Aside from quills, there aren't really that many pendulums out yet. But I really like the mechanic, and I'm really interested to see where Konami's going to end up going with it. Because it's a lot of fun, and I really like how it's all based around how it's all based in the main deck. I really like that, um, and the fact that it's mostly normal monsters. I think that's really cool. Um, but this one's kind of focused on dinosaurs, focused on getting out Logia, and I guess Dolka if the situation calls for it, and because the pendulum mechanic, it makes it really easier for you to run Solda, which is nice. But so we're gonna start off here. Three lance. It's a level 6. It's scale of 7. Its pendulum effect is if a normal monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. So it gives your guys piercing, which is really nice. Then we have Dragon Horn Hunter, level 6, scale of 3. He gives your normal monsters a 200 attack boost, and you take no battle damage from battles involving normal monsters, so that can really help you out on the battlefield there. A Folkut's Cannon, it's kind of nice. It's kind of like a not that great MST. It's a level 5, has a scale of 2. During the end phase, this card was activated this turn. You can target one face-up spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. I haven't actually ended up using the effect of this card that much, mostly just because if I use it for the pendulum scale, it's usually on turn 1 and it doesn't have any targets, or I have something else to take its place in the scale. But it definitely opens up your options. Gives you a little bit of back row removal if you need it. This deck this deck is a little sacky. I've kind of messed with it a bit to make it a little bit more stable. Added the MSTs, and a few other things. We'll get to those later. 3 Sabrosauruses. It's the strongest level 4 dinosaur that you can run. So, I mean, even with the 300 attack boost, that's 2100 just straight up. So that's pretty, I mean, just 21 attack off a normal summon isn't bad. And it lets you go into Logia and Dolka and all your other rank 4s that you run. Flash Knight, strong, level 4. Pendulum 7, he's a normal. He's really more in here for for scale than anything else. Dragoons of Draconia, I fucking love this card, if for nothing else in the art. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. You see this shit? See this shit right here? It's a dinosaur with a gun riding a fucking dinosaur, and that's badass. But it's a level 4. For some reason, it's a fucking beast warrior. I wish they would have made it a dinosaur, but it's a beast warrior. I mean, I guess because the dude riding it is a beast warrior. I don't fucking know. But its pendulum effect is it's a level 4 in scale 2. Its pendulum effect is once per turn, if a normal monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle, after damage calculation, you can add one level 4 or higher normal monster from your deck to your hand. So it lets you search, which is really nice, especially in a deck like this where you're constantly just throwing out a bunch of dudes, going into random Xyz plays, or just trying to OTK. Cabazulus, second strongest rank 4 or level 4 dino you can run. Again, in there for making your rank 4s and Logia and Dolka. Same with Two-Headed King Rex. I don't actually know if he's like the 3rd strongest, but I like Two-Headed King Rex. I think he's a cool card, so I just threw him in there instead. Dora Dragon, level 4 rank, or level 4 pendulum, or level 4 scale 7. Fuck, there we go. 500 attack, 21 defense. He's really, again, he's kind of like Flash Knight. He's really more in there for scale. You can set him for a decent meat shield if you want. He's rank 4, so you can go into, or level 4, so you can go into your rank 4 plays easily enough. Rescue Rabbit. I mean, because it's a dinosaur deck, you gotta have the Dino Rabbit. You gotta have the possibility of Dino Rabbit going in. It's one of, so I mean, and it's not normal, so you can't really search it. But it's nice when you get it, because it'll always lead into a Logia, or it'll always lead into a rank 4. Most of the time you end up going into Logia, which is nice. And that's it for the monsters. We got 1 Raigeki, 2 Fossil Digs, 2 Summoner's Art, 3 Heart of the Underdogs. I'm going to read this off because it's older and not many people probably know what it does. But during your draw phase, when you draw a normal monster card, you can draw 1 more card by showing it to your opponent. There are a few Exodia decks that actually use this a lot. There's actually a variant of normal Pendulums that uses Exodia. But it's just really nice in this deck because like everything's a normal monster, so you can just keep drawing cards and drawing cards and drawing cards and drawing cards and just have all this hand advantage and various level options for various Xyz plays. A lot of versions of this deck don't run traps, but I really, really hate not running traps because I get blown up by traps. And I mean, like with not having Compulse or Warning out, it's like my only out to people's special summons is Logia and Solda, which I might not be able to make every turn, or first turn. It's just kind of a little insurance policy. Bottomless is in there just because Bottomless is a good card and it'll never stop being good. If you play it against a Pendulum deck or Quills, they summon a field load of Quills. Oh, Bottomless, wipe your fucking field, it's all exiled. Dante, exiled. Fucking Shadal's exiled. It's just an all-around, or I get Yu-Gi-Oh! Banished, so banished, whatever. But it's just an all-around good card. I mean, these are staples for a reason. I mean, they're just fucking good. And 2 MSTs because fuck back row, fuck it with a passion. At least for in this deck anyway. Vanities completely destroys this deck. Your only out to Vanities if you don't run MST is having a Folkett's Cannon actually able to activate, which is actually rather kind of rare. See, the thing with Folkett's Cannon is it's really more of a, its effect is really more of a, oh, I can do this as well, that's nice when I can get it. But you really don't actually end up using it that much. Which is why the MST is in there. It's basically another out for Vanities and just various situations like that you might not have an out to. Kaiser Coliseum is another one. Bujin's kind of wrecked this deck. I mean, it was a close match, but it gave this deck a real run for its money because of Kaiser. And then I played against I think it was Quills, and they threw out Vanities. And I'm like, this deck really gets fucked over by the floodgates really hard, and this deck doesn't really have an out for it. So I'm gonna add 2 MSTs. I've played it since then, and it runs pretty well with 2 MSTs. With the traps and the MSTs and the Raigeki, that's it. I mean, that's really all you need. It's still kind of sacky, but it works. The Fossil Digs and the Summoner's Art and as well as the Heart of the Underdogs add a lot of consistency. The biggest thing that fucks you in this deck is not having a scale or not having the right scale. Because I don't know if this was intentional on Konami's part, but aside from Lance, you'll notice something with the Pendulums. Aside from Lance and Dragoon, the really high-level Pendulums are really low scales, and the low-level Pendulums are high scales, exemplified by Dragonhorn Hunter and Folkett's Cannon, as well as Flash Knight and Dora Dragon. If you look at them, Flash Knight and Dora Dragon, both level 4s, both Pendulum 7s, whereas Horn Hunter and Folkett's Cannon are level 5s, level 5 and 6, but they're only scale 2 and 3. I don't know if that's something Konami's doing on purpose to kind of make to kind of balance it out or something, because it does actually kind of fuck with your searches a little bit with Summoner's Art. Dragoons is awesome, but you can't search it with Summoner's Art because it's not level 5 or higher. Same with Flash Knight. Sometimes you just really need a 7 Pendulum, but you can't search it because it's level 4. I have toyed with a couple builds running Tinky. Let's pull this up real quick. Tinky. I have ran a couple different versions of this with Tinky just so I could search out Dragoons, but it really, I mean, Dragoons again. It's a lot. It's really, you just need a scale. That's really all you need. If it's just off Folklet and Flash Knight, then I mean that sucks. But you have a scale. If it's off or Dora Dragon and Folklets, that's, I mean, you don't have any extra effects, but you have a scale, which is what you need. I mean, it's nice to have the effects of Lance and Horn Hunter and Dragoons, but you can't always get that. And if you run Tanky to search out Dragoons, I mean, yeah, you'll have more consistency in terms of your monsters, but you won't. But again, you'll have less options because that's less deck space to use for MSTs or traps. Like I said, a lot of versions of this deck don't run traps, and that just doesn't really sit well with me because it makes the deck really hit or miss. Which I would really like, and I'm sure it'll be like this in the future, just because pendulums are so young right now. Once Konami starts throwing out some more pendulums, we'll start having a more consistent version of this deck. But until then, it's not as consistent as I would like it to be, or it's not consistent. That's the wrong word. Not consistency. Stability. Stable. That's the word I'm looking for. Because as I said, if you don't run traps, you're only out to like Vanities or Kaiser, shit like that, is with a very well-placed Folklet, which you don't always have. And MST really helps with that. Same with field control of your opponent's side of the field, Bottomless, Compulse, and Solemn. If you don't run those, your only way out, at least if you run Dinosaurs, well, actually, your only way out would be to run Dinosaur, because I think the only rank 4s that negate summons are. I think the only rank 4 that negates a summon is Logia. I mean, you could run Solda too, but you still need Dinosaurs for that. And there might be other ranks of other different types that do that, but if they exist, I am not aware of them at all. But that's why I run the MSTs and the traps, because they give you a lot more ways out to really bad situations for the deck. So extra deck. Let's go over this. 2 Cowboys. Just because when you're throwing out buffs, especially stuff like just only an extra 200, your life points, your various life point totals can get a little weird, and your opponent ends up with like 200, 300, 800, 500 attack left, just a little bit. So Cowboy to kind of finish them off. Diamond Direwolf, again, as I was talking about ways out of bad situations earlier, Direwolf is pretty much your only way besides Folklet Cannon, especially if you don't run the traps in MST. And then we have what the fuck? Starliege Paladimo. He gets damage in. Excuse me. And if they kill him, you draw a card. So he's got like that secondary mathematician effect, which is nice. Sky Blaster can get rid of problem monsters. Same with Honor Arc. Dolka is just nice to have around. Again, just negate the monster effects. Solda is just Solda negates special summons, and she protects herself pretty well. This card can't be destroyed while it has Xyz material. So pretty much the only way to get rid of it, so long as it has Xyz material, is to just bounce it or steal it with like Snatch Steal or Honor Arc. So that really kind of limits what your opponent can do with it. And you only have to pay 1 to negate a special summon, which is really nice. Logia's in here because Logia's fucking awesome, and you can just say no to fucking everything. At first turn Logia is just... I fucking love first turn Logia. It's probably my favorite play in the deck, just because it's like, oh, scale, double dinosaurs, first turn Logia. What do you plan on doing your first turn? Oh, no, you're not going to do fucking anything your first turn because I'm going to negate it with fucking Logia. Dark Rebellion, Xyz Dragon. Again, he's kind of like a Paladimo. Kind of like a reverse Paladimo. He buffs himself super big. Okay. You can attach 2 Xyz materials from this card. Target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its current attack, and if it does, this card gains that lost attack. But yeah, it just makes itself real big, helps you get in damage. Fairy Knight Ingnar. I wanted just, again, an extra out to cards like Vanities and shit like that. So this is really the only other card I could find that wouldn't take up space in the main deck that would help me with it. It takes 3 level 6 monsters, which can be, 3 Lance, you earn 3 Lance and 3 Horror Hunters, so it is possible to make in the deck. And with your searches, it's doable. It's not particularly hard. But its effect is, once per turn, you can detach 2 Xyz material from this card, return all other cards on the field to your hand. Your opponent cannot, and here's the other important thing, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this activation, which is really nice. It's kind of like a giant tornado, I guess, is really the only other thing I can think to compare it to. It's just really nice. It resets the field, gets rid of Vanities, gets rid of Kaiser, all that shit. We run Volcasaurus, again, can get rid of problem cards. Gets rid of problem monsters, I guess. See, that's the thing. Let's organize this a little bit. We got Wolf, we got Wolf, we got you. Okay. Yeah, that's just the thing. Wolf, Ignar, and MST are really your only consistent ways of dealing with back row in this deck. It just really gets kind of annoying when you keep pushing and pushing, because that's the thing with this deck. You summon all the monsters with relatively high attack, and you just fucking go and go and go. It really gets fucking annoying when you're constantly getting blown up by Mirror Forces and Deep Prisms and getting shut down by Vanities and Kaiser and all that other shit. So yeah, that's why I run it the way I do. Anyway, Volcasaurus gets rid of a thing on the field, gets you damage in, and then rerun the Charger just to get that just for the extra damage. And yeah, that's the deck. I am really interested to see where Konami goes with this pendulum mechanic. Hopefully they release some new good normal pendulums, because I'd really like to see this deck be really well, or be really good. It's pretty good now. It loses to the top tier, but I shouldn't even say that. It can, if you with the right hand, it can hold its own against Quills. Just because skill drain does not really fuck you in this deck because you're running normals. It can do all okay against Quills if you get the right hand. It can do okay with Burning Abyss if you can get the right Xyz plays out early enough. Shaddolls, I have not really figured out how to play this against. Excuse me, I've not really figured out how to play this against Shaddolls. But it can kind of hold its own against the top tier. But that being said, it's not the most stable deck, and it does kind of have consistency problems, even with Heart of the Underdog and Searches. But then again, as I said, Pendulums are still a very young concept, very young mechanic. but I want to see where they go with it. This is kind of the, at least my version of the deck as it stands right now. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw today and want to keep up with the channel, there is a link to my Facebook page in the link below. You can follow that, get ideas of what videos coming out, idea for video suggestions, channel news, all that good shit is in the Facebook. If you like what you saw today and want to support me, I do have a PayPal button on my channel. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Will out.